Hey pokedad fan club, it's me pokedad, and today I wanted to go over the deck that won Worlds. Now there's a few cards in here that I have that weren't in the Worlds deck because I don't have them, and I'll explain what they are. The first one is a Lugia EX. That obviously wasn't in the Worlds deck. There was a Mewtwo EX, but I got in later than most people on Pokemon, so I don't have a Mewtwo EX. I could have traded for one, but since I already had the Lugia and Mewtwo's rotating, I just figured I'd just throw the Lugia in. Uh, the other thing is I only have two superior energy retrievals, and Jacob, the winner of the Worlds, actually had four, so I'm just using two extras. It's still pretty consistent even without the two superior energy retrievals. So anyway, let's just go through the deck real quickly. Many of you probably already familiar with it, but it's a Blastoise, Archie's Blastoise deck. So we use Archie's Ace in the Hole to get a Blastoise out, and we can usually do that on turn one more times than not. And Blastoise has Deluge, so we can play as many water energy cards from our hand as we want. And that's why we like the energy retrievals, because then we can bring them back to our hand. We play 11 water energies, and this helps us power up our main attacker, which is Keldeo. With Rush In, we play actually 3 Keldeos, so we can get rid of special conditions by rushing in a couple times with Keldeo. So one of them will charge up, and if we put 11 energies on this, which doesn't happen often, but I have gotten 10, you can hit like 300 with it, 270, 290, somewhere in there. So you're knocking out most everything, even megas. And it's not really hard to do, like by turn 2 or 3, have all those energies on there. We also do play a couple other attackers for certain situations. Articuno can help us get through safeguarders, and we can actually use the Delta Plus. So we can actually draw 2 prizes if we knock out with Tri-Edge here. Now we slap a muscle band, we're hitting a base of 40. And then, one head flip will give us 80, 2 heads gives us 120. So, not too bad there. We do usually need 2 heads to knock out a safeguarder in one shot. And then we play the Mewtwo, or in this case Lugia EX, for the Arrow Ball. It just gives us a different color attacker. So if we're going against a grass deck, Keldeo's weak to grass. So we want to kind of avoid that. And Wailord's weak to grass. Wailord's our final attacker. He's usually used for the Night March attack, so he's the one we want to try to use for that, because he's got so high HP that Night Marchers can't knock him out. Sorry guys, I had to pause it for just a moment. So anyway, Wailord will help us with the Night March attack. And then, so that kind of goes over our attackers. We do have some support. We have Shaman, and Shaman, one of the big things about this deck is that we need, once we get the Blastoise in place, we need to get water energies. And so Shaman can actually use the setup to draw into a bigger hand, allowing us to get more energies into play. And then we can still maybe do a Sycamore, and this is more in the later game. Also in the early game, Shaman, if we don't have the right cards we need to get the Archies out, we can use setup to get us more cards, maybe draw into a computer search, or maybe draw into another Ultra Ball, so that we can get exactly what we need to get the Archies out. Now a lot of times we don't need to do that, and as much as I've played this deck already, it's very easy to get a turn 1 Archies, though it's not always possible. But usually by turn 2 you have the Archies and the Blastoise in play. So Shaman can help in that regard. Now we play 2 Executes. This actually can help us with Ultra Balls and Computer Search and Superior Water Energy. These are the ones where you can propagate them back into your hand. So we want to try to get them in the discard pile, and then we can propagate them to give us basically free Ultra Balls and free Computer Search and free Superior Energy Retrieval. So that's what the Execute is for. And it also helps us with the math to get the Archies a little bit easier. And then Jirachi, we have to play 2 Jirachis. And the reason for that is Jirachi's Stellar Guidance. If we don't have the Archie's Ace in the Hole in hand, and we don't have a VS Seeker, we don't have a computer search, we can Jirachi for the Archie's Ace in the Hole. And then it just helps us get Archie's Ace in the Hole more consistently. We have to play 2 because if one of them is prized, the chances of both of them being prized are slim. So if one of them is prized, we still have a Jirachi available. Now you'll see one thing that's bad about this deck is we have 2, 4, 6 cards here that we really don't want to start with. And then we can't start with the Blastoise. I mean, we can get them in our hand, but we can't start with. So we have 6 bad starters, and we have 6 decent starters. Ideally, we want to start with a Keldeo, but we can start with Articuno or Wailord or Lugia or Mewtwo in this case. But just know that you're oftentimes going to be starting with one of these. That's okay though, because Keldeo can rush in and bring it to the bench. We can also attach an energy, and if we need to retreat manually. So let's look at some of the other cards. Most of the cards are built just to get the Archies out. I mean, it's so important to this deck. If you don't get the Archies out, then you're pretty much going to lose. So we have 4 Acrobikes. This allows us to decide, look at the top 2 cards of our deck and see which one we want to keep and one of them we want to throw away. We have a lot of discards in this deck, like Executes. We can even discard Water Energy. Matter of fact, it's very imperative that we don't start with a lot of energy because you can only attach 1 energy and then you have to Ultra Ball any extras away. Otherwise, you can't play the Archies. So, Water Energy is okay to go. If we need to, we can throw a Pokemon away, or Blastoise especially. We want to try to get him in the discard pile. We have 4 Battle Compressors. The things we want to compress, first of all, are Blastoise. We can compress the Executes, and then also we can actually put 1 Archie's Ace in the hole, especially if we have both of them. We can put 1 in the discard pile and keep 1 in the deck, so that if we draw into VS Seeker, we can get it out with a VS Seeker. We can also battle compress energy, since we have the energy retrieval and the superior energy retrieval. Battle compressor will help us get the energy in the discard pile, and then we can get it back out through the energy retrievals. 1 computer search, this is just obvious. This is going to help us get whatever we want. It can get an Archie's, it can get a Pokemon if we need it. It can get the Muscle Band or a Float Stone, the things that we just play 1 of. And it also helps us discard to get down to the Archies, being able to just play the Archies. So that's very nice. Now Jacob played 4 superior energy retrievals. Again, I told you I don't have them all. But ideally, this is what you want to do. You discard 2 cards, preferably the Executes, and then you put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So this can help a lot, especially in the end game. You can battle compress energy and then get that energy back out, and you're going to charge up your Keldeo or whatever real fast with the Deluge, and then pretty much the game is over. You win. 4 Trainer's Mail, again, this is just for consistency, helping us find Acrobite, helping us find Battle Compressors, Ultra Balls, Computer Search, anything. We have so many item cards in this list that Trainer's Mail comes in really handy. We also play 4 Ultra Balls. Again, this is to help us discard our hand so that we can get back down to the Archie's Ace in the hole. It also, if we don't have Blastoise in the beginning, we can Ultra Ball for the Blastoise, and then if we have another way to discard him, like through another Ultra Ball or a computer search, we can get him out that way. So that's one way to get Blastoise out. Ideally, we want to go through Battle Compressor, but if we can't, that's always an option. We play 4 VS Seeker. Again, this is for consistency to help us get the Archies. So we play 2 Archies here. 1, if one of them's prized, we still have one available to us. We have Lysander, one Inn, 2 Sycamores, 2 we got a Float Stone, a Muscle Band, and 11 Water Energies. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole deck there. And I guess I should explain, those of you who don't know what Archie's Ace in the Hole does, you can only play this when this is the last card in your hand. So that's why we use all these other cards to discard cards, basically, so that this will be the last card in our hand. You put a water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, and it can even be a stage 2 like Blastoise. And so that's the idea. We get Blastoise in play with Archie's, then you get to draw 5 cards. So it's very, very, very useful, but it's also difficult to get out, and that's why everything is built around getting an Archie's Ace in the Hole out. Play the Lysander, we know about that. We know about all this other stuff. Rough Seas is very helpful because it gives us heals 30 damage from each of our water Pokemon. Unfortunately, we can only play 2 because otherwise they can gum up the deck. Float Stone, we can put that on Wailord or on a Keldeo so that we can rush in and retreat to clear special conditions. Muscle Band adds 20 damage to our attack, and then the 11 energies. Keldeo is typically the one we're going to be using for the attack. Anyway, guys, so that was the World's winner. I mean, it was a really awesome deck. I don't know if you saw those, but the replays are available. And I'm telling you, he like won 2 like they have an hour and a half to play, and he won 2 matches in like 24 minutes with this deck. He just, I mean, and he was going against his Seismitoad Bats, and he just destroyed him. So anyway, guys, that is the World's for 2015 World Champion Masters Division deck. I'm actually going to run this on Tournament Thursday, see how well we can do. And so keep your eye out on Thursday for that video. Anyway, this is Pokedad. Hit like, subscribe, and put a comment below. I know this deck is really almost broken. So tell me what you think about the deck. I still think the way he played it was excellent. And it's very ingenious. It used Roaring Skies. I've seen this deck before, but it didn't have some of the Roaring Skies helps like Shaman EX, Trainer's Mill. Those really boosted the consistency of this deck, and so it made it for a very, very strong deck. Anyway, guys, we'll talk to you later. See you at the Tournament Thursday video. Till then, bye.